Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a tier list ranking the excuses of the gender unknown servants in FGO, which, there's more than 18. There's only 18 on this list, because Astolfo is on there twice, and somebody else is on there twice as well. Caenis. Caenis is the other one who's on there twice. And so I just opted to cut the extra. There's 18 that we're going to rank. The varying excuses of the gender unknown servants. Now, we have in the past done rankings for the excuses of the gender bends in FGO. And some of them some of these characters are the same, kind of. Not all of them, but some of them. And so, we are going to be just looking into it. There's an explanation for each of them, kind of. There's one that there's two looking at this list that I'm not totally sure what the deal is. I have an idea for one and not really an idea for the other, but we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. So, you may be wondering what the criteria is that I'm going to rank them on. I'm mostly looking for creativity in the decision to give them the gender unknown trait. This is also a reminder that gender unknown is not the same as feminine appearing, but I do believe some of them share those, but not always. So yeah, it's mostly just going to be us very arbitrarily putting these rankings together. So, are you ready? Let's get into it. So, I figured we should start with the best one of the best ones. You think? One sec. I'm like edging a sneeze right now. It's stuck. What's up, Tig? Alright. So. Daeon. Daeon is, of course, like the... It's the gender unknown servant, because their gender is anything that they want it to be. And it's so weird. Anytime I talk about Daeon and I opt to use the they pronouns, somebody gets mad. Usually saying that Daeon should be referred to as female because of history. But that doesn't really count for FGO because Daeon is both in FGO. And so I think using they pronouns is appropriate. Yeah, Daeon. How can Daeon be a gender unknown and gender bent at the same time? Well, let me tell you, Mr. Mad Melody. The answer to that is because their gender is unknown because it shifts.
Fast today.
Daeon can be either male or female, depending on the situation. And so they would be a gender bend because they're bending their gender from whenever they were alive, which they died identifying as a female, and they had male reproductive organs but female breasts in history, and so it's a really confusing situation with that. Daeon is the gender fluid, and I do not mean cum. So like Rama, no, because there's no condition to change the gender. You don't need to get Daeon wet to change the gender. Ugh. But because they were very fluid with their gender in history, they're able to change their gender as they see fit. And in terms of being gender unknown, I'd say that's maybe about as unknown as it gets. Pretty good. Don't they have a skill that lets them change their gender? I mean, it's a skill in game, but
Sometimes you just want that 对斜杠的 emoji.
sure, it is a skill in game, but it's also, but if we're going to talk strictly lore, they can just do that. So in conclusion, that is correct. S tier, Daeon. Kind of in that same vein is Enkidu. So Enkidu is not human. Enkidu is made of clay, and so is able to, in theory, have both.
Enkidu's gender is clay.
Yes, is in theory able to have either male reproductive organs or female reproductive
Best
organs,
clay.
depending, right? So I don't know. It's kind of the same thing as the Daeon situation, though I don't think that they can change their gender at will. How would they go about that? Maybe they could. Maybe they can.
Depends if Gil wants to top or bottom.
I guess. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how they would even math that out. You know what I mean? The fake community has had the same joke for about 7 years. They're never going to grow out of it. If there's one thing I've learned about fandom in general, it's that they will latch onto one thing that was said 15 years ago and then never let it go and hammer it home, and they still think it's the funniest shit in the world. It's not. But they'll do it. Look, they dedicated an entire day to the Fate Stay Night protagonist, where everyone just repeats the word swords, and it's not funny. It's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's fucking annoying, and it's a whole day, and then it carries over. I mean, pop off, like what you like, but Jesus, it's just too much. Anyway. It's over. I think it's a resub. Welcome back. Glad to be back. I'm not going to get into it because that's not the purpose of this stream. But yeah. Enkidu, I think, is also kind of up here. The other thing with Enkidu, from what I understand, is that Enkidu's appearance is modeled after one of the sacred prostitutes. I'm trying to remember where I read that. I'm trying to remember if that's actually real or not. I'm pretty sure it is. That's why they look feminine. They like have the feminine look to them. They look girly because of Shamat from the actual legend. No, the actual legend. I don't think that I just did a thing on him, but I don't think that that's the actual legend. He's like a hairy beast man. Created by the gods to kill Gilgamesh. But regardless, Gil is a furry? You know what? Yes. Anyway, I think it's pretty compelling. I like the idea behind it. Let me double. Is Enkidu feminine appearing or feminine looking? Yes. In fact, just about every single... Alright, a lot of the units on here are feminine looking as well. Interesting. I think S tier is fine. S is good. It's a pretty compelling argument. We're really just going to start off with 3 S's in a row, aren't we? Because I also think Takeru is an S. And that is because... Enkidu... Or not Enkidu, Jesus. I'm looking at chat. Yeah, Vapor. If you've played Samurai Remnant, you can add... Okay. If you were to ask 100 players of FGO, Jesus, of Fate Samurai Remnant what gender they think Takeru is, I would reckon that you would get a solid 50-50 on people who said male and female. I would need to actually, like, poll that, but it's pretty compelling either way. They are written incredibly well as an androgynous character, where you could argue on both ends that they are male or female. Can we test it? We're not running a poll in this chat. I don't trust you people. Yeah, the next support list review question will be, what gender is Takeru? Male, female, yes, no. Like, you could definitely argue that they're a male, and it would be compelling, it'd be believable. Saying things along the lines of how they act, their whole arc with trying to get back their wife. Showboating, acting masculine, etc. Alternatively, you could also argue that they're written to be more female because, you know, they show very, very feminine sides of Saber, and it goes that way too. It's really, really interesting. A lot of people point out that they are certain that Takeru is a male because they have a wife. I'm just gonna let that sentence sink in for a second. Having a wife automatically makes you a male. This is not even going to get into any, like, gay rights or anything like that, but we know historically that people throughout time have married within the same gender. You can have a wife and be a girl. Case in point for Fate. Look at Altria. Altria had a wife. Altria even had a son-daughter. Oh god, high-res voice. Yeah. That is the argument that a lot of people point to, and I'm like, I don't think that's enough. Samurai Remnant's great, writing in it is great. Weber is very, very good for being one way or the other. FGO kind of pushes Takeru to appear almost more female in certain aspects, but, you know. I don't know. I do not know one way or the other. And so because I can't math it out, yeah. And put it here. All right. Douman.
Weber's gender is yes, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I don't know what to do about Douman. So I'm going to put Douman in C, right? I don't know why Douman is gender unknown. Because it's definitely male appearing. And Douman is referred to as a male by other people. In game, there's no, like, confusion about that, which is another whole aspect that should maybe, like, be taken into account for this, is how do other people refer to them in game. So, for example, the people all in the 3 here, all up top here, 3, we're still gonna have to wait for the translations because I don't know really what the gendered, if they use any gendered language with Takeru. In Samurai Remnant, they certainly, like, they go back and forth with it. They're kind of ambiguous. Enkidu, I think, gets the he treatment more often than not, but it's hard to say, really. And Daeon is Daeon. You got a costume during summer which is male only. Well, it doesn't really matter as much, given another character that is going to be coming up. Shouldn't be D. Well, I do have one bit of evidence as to why I think they're gender unknown, or he is gender unknown rather. And it's something I've brought up before in a separate cursed video that I made, and that is that Douman is written to be a femme fatale character, and is based off of a... I believe he's a Bake Neko, not a Nekomata. I believe he's a Bake Neko, not a Nekomata. And the Bake Neko are known to take the forms of women in the red light district to have sex with men. Now, Douman, the fuck-ass cat, might be getting his ass fucked. And taking the form of a woman. Hence why, you know, Ridicule Cat is a skill. I love how loud my fucking chair is.
Pain and suffering await you.
Happy 2 years. Also doming best non-binary home.
Sapphire Rosa, thank you for the resub for 2 years. Holy shit. To your birthday. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. I read that as also Douman best non-binary whole. With an L. Then he is a furry, yes. 100% yes. I think so. Because there is some logic that can be found in it, I think that it's fine to put him into C as opposed to D. And somebody asked, what is the purpose of the gender unknown? Or not the gender unknown, the feminine appearing trait. I believe it's because of Blackbeard. Let me see. Related skill. Yeah, it's just Blackbeard. It's all related to Blackbeard's gentleman's love skill. I don't actually know if there is something specifically for the gender unknowns. Let me check that. Okay. So Mary Anning's Bond CE gives a 20% arts boost to female or gender unknown allies, which is pretty significant. And then also Mary Anning's charisma it affects gender unknown, and Summer Caenis also has a skill that affects gender unknown. So, there you go. I think that's fine. I think C is fine. Alright, Astolfo. D tier. I could... Astolfo is weird. If not for the Fate Apocrypha anime existing, Astolfo may be higher.
D for dick.
But the anime explicitly says that Astolfo is male. Yeah, It's Fate's best. It's Fate's worst kept secret.
Astolfo's monster energies panzer ship.
I love. Okay. I love that is something that has stuck with the community. Did you guys ever see that the voice actress, the English voice actress for Astolfo, was wondering why Astolfo was trending? And then when she looked it up, she was very sad. Yeah. I don't know if she was horrified, but she was definitely sad. Yeah, pretty. Life imitates art. Anyway, yeah, Astolfo's gender is Fate's worst kept secret. Everyone knows that Astolfo is a male. In fact, people who are outside of the Fate community know that Astolfo is a male, which means that there's no point in maintaining this facade of Astolfo being male. But FGO is trying to play coy with it for some reason. Maybe get some people's hopes up that it's still that he could still possibly be a female, because Astolfo is by all accounts adorable and very cute. I will now post one of my favorite images of all time because it is related to this. Where is it? Oh, I need to go to this page instead because it's not shared for whatever reason. It's probably because the artist is different. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Just gonna let this sink in. Now, if you could believe it, I don't have a pussy, so I can't imagine. I can imagine that being grabbed there would hurt, but I can't imagine if it would cause this kind of a shock that's going through Astolfo's head right now to happen. Super effective, yes. All of you fucking mages out here casting testicular torsion ain't got shit on the nurse who just does it to you, to your face like this, and says, I'm checking. Official art, by the way. A grab isn't as bad to the vagina. Are you a female? Okay, I have the female. I have a female in chat, a verified female in chat, saying that it would, and a I don't know saying that it wouldn't. In these situations, I will gravitate towards the opinions of the people who are the vagina havers, as opposed to people who are the knots. Grab is not as bad unless they're gripping. Okay. Still bad, but not as much. Okay, there we go. Well, this has been an enlightening discussion for all of us, hasn't it? Point being, Astolfo, D tier, bad excuse. Everyone knows. Everybody knows. The excuse that they have is that Astolfo is just being coy. He's just keeping it a secret because he's cute like that. So, okay. Qin Shi Huang is really weird. Qin Shi Huang, I believe, should be in B tier. Yeah. The man is beyond gender. Well, that's the thing, is Qin Shi Huang. Okay. If I'm remembering my lore correctly, the servant that we summon, the one that looks like the picture here, is not the true body of Qin Shi Huang. The true body is the big ass robot, the castle, like the big orb. That's the true body, is the big mechanical castle, and that this is just a what's the word?
Qin Shi Huang, sex equals useless.
Like, yeah, terminal. Thank you. That is exactly the word I was looking for, is terminal. And so, because of that, I think that being in B tier is fine for them. I mean, Qin Shi Huang is male appearing and goes by male pronouns, right? Alternatively, they also use the royal we, but that is, that's neither here nor there. As far as I'm aware, they're primarily referred to with male pronouns by the cast. In the main terminal, or the terminal that we use, is the one that is modeled after how he would have appeared at a point in time, and so it's weird like that. I mean, he super evolved into a big ass orb, which is peak male physique. Yeah, what Mercury does to a motherfucker. Yeah, I think B is fine. I think S tier up here needs to be reserved for units that are passing as both pretty convincingly. You know what I mean? A tier can have some discrepancies, and then like B tier is like good excuses, C tier is whatever, like a marginal excuse, and then D tier is bad. So like all of the big three up here in S, all of them are all like they could go either way. Okay. I'm going to quickly eliminate two of these off of this list. And that is Okita Alter Summer and the Dioscuri. Both of which are going into D tier. And the reason is because they're gender unknown because they are two people of different genders. Which, it's not the worst excuse in the world, because like I don't really know how you would map that out, you know what I mean? But Caster's a male, Pollux is a female, Okita's a female, Rengoku is a male, and then also the costume for Okita Alter, just normal Okita Alter, where it's Okita's possessed by Rengoku. That's also a gender unknown, but that's because it's a male mind possessing a female body. They just did the old switcheroo. Yeah, so that's why both of these two are considered gender unknown, and so their genders are known, I guess, is maybe the thing. Maybe that's what D tier is the genders are known and the excuse is very lacking. Like we know what the gender is. Astolfo is definitively a male. We know that. We know that Okita Alter is a female, and that Rengoku is a male, and then we know that Caster and Pollux are both male and female, respectively. So, I'm gonna just cut both of those off this list right now. Because easy, done, good. Alright? Kagekiyo. Kagekiyo is... So the logic behind Kagekiyo is that they are a vessel of Taira, like, vengeful spirits, a bunch of them, leaded primarily by Taira no Kagekiyo, that have made their body in the shape of their greatest enemy, Ushiwakamaru, kind of. But then there's that whole thing with Kagekiyo fighting against whether they're Ushi or whether they're Taira, and they don't really know which one that they are. And so I'm trying to remember if they're actually properly Ushi in and of themselves, or if they are Taira that just made themselves into an Ushi and are trying to determine if they are Ushi. I mean, that shit sounds way too confusing. It kind of is. I mean, okay, maybe an easier way to think of it is that it's an adult, a more grown-up Ushi possessed by the spirit of evil entities. And the evil entity that is possessing them is male. And so I think C is okay. I think C is okay. C because Ushi shows back up in Ascension 3. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, 1 and 2 are kind of full-on Taira. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that C is good. Yeah, it is like it's a conglomerate of multiple gendered spirits possessing the vessel that is Ushiwakamaru. And now you could make the argument that, well, the body is female, ergo the gender would be female. But it's more complicated than that, I think. So I think C. I think C is good. Well, Taira is Ushi alter. But the best way that you could alter Ushi is by making it her biggest enemy, the Taira. Alright. Heavy hitter time. Caenis. Now, Caenis is interesting. So, Caenis is feminine appearing, or feminine looking. However, Caenis is treated as a male by the game, right? And we don't really have a definitive knowledge of what's in Caenis's pants. And if we're going to strictly go off of history and why Caenis appears the way that Caenis does, let's do history time, fellas. And everybody knows this story, but history time. Caenis was a woman initially, got had a very, very unpleasant meeting with the sea god Poseidon, and then was given the wish of becoming a man with impenetrable skin. And so, Caenis, historically, was a woman who became a man. After that, we're going to skip a bunch of the exploits of Caenis, cut directly to the Centauromachia, where Caenis was present, and Caenis helped to fight and kill a fuck ton of centaurs, because they were stealing brides from a wedding, and Caenis like, that ain't right, and started killing centaurs. Now, the centaurs couldn't kill Caenis because they were trying to stab him to death, and they're like, well, this can't get through his skin. And so what they did was they got a bunch of trees, stripped an entire mountain of trees, and literally just hit Caenis with enough trees to bury him in the earth. And what ended up killing Caenis was suffocated to death. Lack of oxygen, died. Now, as to why Caenis appears with a female body, and I don't remember which writer is the one responsible for this. If I had to take a shot in the dark, because I know their track record with being a fuck ass, it's Ovid. I could be wrong on that. I'm openly saying I could be wrong on that. But I think it was Ovid who wrote that after Caenis died, the body returned to being female. And because of that, that one little descriptor, Caenis, when they become a heroic spirit, has a feminine body. Now, mentally, they're still male, obviously, and physically, they might still be male, which is an interesting little thing. Because again, we don't know what's in Caenis' pants. But every interaction that we have with Caenis, Caenis is more or less demands that we refer to them as a male and acts like a male. They don't do anything traditionally girly. And also, I believe that they have a male Valentine's. They have a Valentine's return gift, not a chocolate. And I believe that's for both summer and normal. Let me double check that. I'm like 95% sure that's what the case is. Let me see, because I know that Caenis gives you the croissant.
So you are saying that Caenis would not be into asphyxiation play?
No. Yep, okay. It's a return gift. That one's a return gift. Let me check Summer Caenis. I don't want to spread misinformation if I can. Even though it's very funny to do so. Also a return gift. Okay. Meaning, Caenis is technically the very first male summer servant, with the loophole being that Caenis is gender unknown. So, I'm going to give Caenis an A. I'm going to not give them an S because we do have a definitive gender that we call them, him, rather, and one that he prefers to be referred to as. And I don't know why that's so hard for a lot of people to understand or to, like, wrap their heads around. Like, is it because you think Caenis is hot? Is it because you think that Caenis is hot and you are so not self-confident, lacking in self-confidence of your own sexuality that you can't admit that something, or someone rather, that is of the same gender as yourself as being attractive, you can't, like, accept that about yourself? Sounds like some fucking small dick energy if I ever heard it. You can admit it. You're allowed to admit these things. No one's going to judge you, and if they do, they're not good people. That doesn't mean that you have to act on that knowledge. You can just say that I think that man is attractive. Does that make you gay? No. Is this a therapy session now? Dude, anytime I talk about Caenis, people get fucking uppity about it. There's always somebody who gets upset about it. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Caenis is a female. Me see booba. Me think female. Like, well. You won't make very many friends that way. Not very many good friends that way, but, you know. Alright. Rome. Mr. Romulus. Thanks for being normal about Caenis. Yeah. I like Caenis. Caenis is cool. Caenis can come to the cookout. Also, Caenis, drinking buddy with Mandricardo. Good character. Alright, Roma. Not gonna lie, I don't use Grand Roma enough to have realized that he was gender unknown. Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna say D tier. Let me explain why Roma is gender unknown. The reason is because, quite literally, and I mean this in all seriousness, his gender is Rome. You got that? I'm not even joking with that. He is, I'm going to continue to say he because I believe that he refers to himself as a male. He is transcended of humanity, and so is the embodiment of Rome, right? And because he's the embodiment of Rome, he has no need for gender. And as such, he has shed the gender that he has, that he was born with to become a they, I think. But the game is rather inconsistent with how they refer to Roma. Let me just check dialogue really quick, but I'm almost certain that that the game outright just calls him a male. Let me look at his profile here. Yep, gender not said. Oh wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. It seems pretty consistent with being gender neutral. Alright, damn, I was wrong. At least in his character profile, it looks like it's pretty gender neutral. Alright, I respect that. I'll bump it up to a C. I will admit my own shortcomings in that very, very short, glance I did over his character profile, but it seems pretty consistent with just not giving Roma a gender. Alright, I see your game. I'll bump it up to a C. Also, it's more of an excuse than fucking Douman has, so, I mean, do I? No, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. C is good. Alright, Wannina. Wannina. Let me check their profile really quick. I'm pretty sure the game, again, no, they're... Okay, that's right. So, who again? Okay. I'm gonna just put this out here. I'm gonna restart my propaganda machine for servants I think are cool. Wannina is one of my most used units on JP because of how good they are. Wannina pops the fuck off. Single target, quick, foreigner. Awesome.
Australians have no gender. We lost that in the Emu War.
True. So, what Wannina... Okay, basic rundown of what a Wannina is, and if you want more information, I have a video on it for Behind the Servants. Wannina is the oldest servant in Chaldea. We're talking 60,000. Count that, 60,000 years old. This is beating out before literally any other servant was a twinkle in their dad's testicle. Hag, that's where you're wrong. This is a child serpent, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that. I'm like 95% sure Wannina is a child servant. They're not. Okay, I was wrong. Yeah, but they are the single oldest servant in Chaldea. Hands down. Now, the Wannina are Australian Aboriginal, like, nature deities. And as far as I know, the Wannina are not as far as I remember, the Wannina are not gendered. The reason why Wannina here appears like this is because it's kind of similar to the Enkidu situation, where they modeled a vessel essentially to have a form that humans could perceive and interact with. And so the idea is that they took the familiar Wannina cave paintings and then modeled a body functionally off of the Aboriginal people and how the Aboriginal people kind of perceived them, and then made their body based on that. And now they're just kind of going around and enjoying life. Now, the Wannina, the deities, from what I remember, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible with this because I know it's kind of a touchy subject. I would like not trying to be weird about it. Are genderless. And so that kind of carries over, even though the body that Wannina here appears in is fairly female. They themselves would not go by gendered terms. Do they give a female return gift? I'm trying to remember. God, Wannina is so cute. She's so baby. I love her so much. I love them so much. It is a return gift. They give you a big koala chocolate. So, like, Jack... kind of like Jack, except Jack is definitively female. Which interesting. I wonder why Jack is a female. Why did Jack become a female if it's a conglomeration of multiple gendered spirits? Huh. They're beyond human form and are the rain in the skies themselves. Well, yeah, talking about the Wannina is weird. Because, okay, if we're going to get deep into what, like, Aboriginal mythology is, which is fascinating, and they really don't tell people about this because it's very sacred, from what we know, it's that there's, like, essentially a separate world, which I believe is referred to as the dream time or the dreaming, that is happening before our time, during our time, and also after our time. It's literally all of it in one area, and the Wannina exist in that, like, in that world, and can functionally pop in and out whenever they feel like. And they're a part of the, like, the actual, like, structure of the world that we know it. It depends which tribe. Yeah. Don't let me generalize. I'm working off of very limited information, and I'm probably wrong about a lot of it. So, you know, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'm not acting like I'm an expert in the topic. And if you know more than me, please feel free to tell me that I'm wrong. With all of that said, B tier. Aboriginal culture is one of the oldest surviving cultures in the world. That is correct. Like I said, there are Wannina carvings that are over 60,000 years old. Carvings, paintings rather. And there's some difficulty in carbon dating them because there is, like, if I'm remembering right, there is rituals that require, like, repainting them to make sure that they don't fully fade, and that kind of fucks up if you're trying to, like, date something all the way back. But they, like, were able to determine these people have been doing this shit for a long ass time, essentially. So, all right, next. Hibiki in Chikagi. Now, or Azumi no Isora, as you may know. Now, in Ascension 1, in Ascension 2, female. Both of them. Right. Well, Ascension 3 is Sirius, who is male question mark, but possessing a female body kind of deal. It's weird. I think C. This is the other one that I, like, kind of didn't know what the reasoning was. Like, I mean, I know Sirius. Sirius is the reasoning because it's only on the third ascension when Sirius is there. But I don't really know what Sirius's deal is, to be fully honest. But if I'm remembering right, Sirius is possessing a combination of the two of them. And Sirius is historically male, I'm pretty sure. But maybe because it's a male possessing a fused female body, it would appear instead as a they, if you will. So I think C is okay. Alright. Koji. My girl Koji. And I'm going to continue to call Koji a girl, even though Koji is weird. Alright, let's talk about it. So Koji, again, I have a behind the servants video.
The bugs are back.
I have a behind the servants video on Koji. And if you listen to that video, you get the impression that Koji is just a troll. It's like she's like Japanese Merlin, but instead of being a kingmaker, is just fucking around. So Koji is mentally a male. Koji was initially a male in history, as in like a person who fucks with other people because they think it's funny. Koji, even in FGO, was a male. This is not a gender bend situation necessarily.
Phony.
Smash next question. True. Okay. Koji was a male, and then put their soul into a karakuri, like, puppet that they modeled. And I'm trying to remember. I think that the one that we summon in FGO is like Mach 2. So they refined it to be more ideal for themselves, for how they want to appear. And so Koji put their soul into a body, and then is able to transfer their soul into other bodies as they see fit. Because, you know, why wouldn't they be able to do that? And so, which Mach is the big pooter from NP? That's still Mach 2. And so Koji is... It's almost like a Da Vinci situation, where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, the brain was initially male, but now it's question mark? How does Koji identify? It's hard to say. From the impression I get from how they act in game, I would assume that they act more female. But I think Koji had a return gift. Koji doesn't make you chocolate. Koji's gift is fucking weird. It's one of the weirdest implications in all of FGO, and I kind of like it. Let me see. Is this a return gift? This is not translated. Yes, I believe this is a return gift. No, it's not for after death. Okay, so what it is, she gives you a puppet, which looks like a, it looks like an illustrator's dummy. And what she can do is, at any point in time, what you can do is you can go to Koji and be like, I want to do the thing. And what Koji will do is take your fucking soul and put it into the puppet. And then you get to boot up your character creator screen and make it to your own specifications and then manifest in that doll's body, which functionally could make you immortal. It would prevent you from aging, changing, all of that jazz, which is kind of what happened to Koji. She gave you a Nikkei. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And so that's the thing that Koji did to herself, and allows that to happen. Pretty sure that happened in the Heavensfield movies. Did it? God, it's been a minute. Anyway. I like the concept. I think B tier. If you seg the Valentine's doll, is it considered self-cessed? No, it's considered masturbation. I think they made Shiro a new body after the tactical alien nuke. Right. Right? Is that what happened? It's been a fucking minute. Alright. Anyway. I think Koji's B. Koji's fine. Okay, Maou Nobu is a fucking can of worms that we need to get into. Okay, so, Maou Nobu is... You guys are making the joke about Weber with their gender being yes, right? Maou Nobu's gender is actually yes. Because Ascension 1 is Nobu. It's the Nobu that we all know. That's the Guda Guda Nobu. Is why she appears like that now. It's just an updated art of Nobu. Now, Ascension 2 is Oda Kipuchi, who is male. We know that's a male. That's absolutely a male Nobu. And then Ascension 3 is question mark, question mark, question mark. Now, we say probably female because boobs, I'm assuming. Boobs and also hot, but also Paco is a goddamn master of drawing androgynous characters. So hard to say. I think Nobu... where would we rank Nobu? If we know the gender of the other Nobu, we therefore know that the gender. We therefore know what the gender of Big Nobu is. No, not necessarily, because if by that logic, it's still question mark, question mark, question mark. Because there's a male and a female Nobu. We don't know if it's two female and a male. They're all the Nobus in one. Well, yeah, but all the Nobus also includes male Nobus. I'm gonna put it C. I'm gonna put it C just because we do know that we do verifiably know the genders of two of them, and there being one that is one like very androgynous minus boob, I think is good enough to prevent it from being in D. All right. Oh boy, here we go. Ranmaru. Chat, where should Ranmaru go? S, Ranmaru tier. Ranmaru tier. Because servant verse bullshit. B, on the squad. S for servant verse. We don't know if Big Nobu is a master of the... Okay. B, their own R tier. Okay. So what I just verified is that none of you actually read the event with Ranmaru, and I gotta say that makes me very upset. Literacy rates are down. I just like the funny that Ranmaru is their own gender. That's fair. Wasn't caught up on the story, couldn't do the event. Damn. Yeah, okay, so the end of... Okay, so first of all, D tier. And the reason why D tier is because we know Ranmaru's gender is female. We know what it is. So... Okay, let's talk about Ranmaru. Let me do a lore dump. Ranmaru is from the servant verse, coming from the Ranmaru planet. Okay? She flew in on her big-ass sword to seek a master, i.e. us, and now serves us as a servant. Now, this is a reminder. This is so important to the structure of FGO's, like, world building that they never really address, and that is that Ranmaru is not a servant from the throne of servants. She just showed up. She literally flew across space and just showed up and now works for us. She is an alien. She isn't a servant, she's an alien. And that includes other characters like that, like Mysterious Heroine X and Space Ishtar. And that the other implication is that there's an entire planet in the galaxy.
That is cool and all. But when are we gonna get to Star Ranmaru?
True. There's an entire planet of other Ranmarus that exist. That for some reason are modeled after Japanese Ranmaru culture. But also can fly? Yeah, Ranmaru is... We know that Ranmaru is female because after she flew, and then after the events of that Guda Guda, Ranmaru communes with the historical Ranmaru, the actual Ranmaru, who was a male. Ranmaru was Oda Nobunaga's like favorite vassal and also butt buddy, but you know, that's aside from the point. And was a beautiful boy who looked female, and so was possibly a female in history, but most people agree was probably a dude, and died with Oda Nobunaga in the Honnoji incident. And so the spirit of that Ranmaru from the Throne of Heroes talked to this Ranmaru, and in it makes fun of the fact that Ranmaru is being coy about her gender and says, we all know that you're a female. And she's like, I'm just trying to keep that a secret. It's like, no, we know. So that told the audience, we know as the audience that Ranmaru is a female. This isn't getting into the fact that at a different date, there is an event, I believe, that talks about how Ranmaru can have children with the Master of Chaldea. It's stated. It is stated that that's a thing that could happen. So, with that in mind, we know Ranmaru was female.
Cool. But when will that happen?
Excellent question. Next up, Sugitani. Doesn't her info say that she can change her gender for her master? No? If it does, that's news to me. Hold on. I'm gonna need to know this. Where's Mamoru?
Are you implying Ranmaru can have children with either Gada and Dako?
Yes. Well. With the ruins, many things are possible. Alright, I'm gonna just control F over here. Gender. Gender is question mark. Okay, let's try the word change. Not coming up. Gudiko gonna deposit the child in Ranmaru like a fucking seahorse? Anyway, Sugitani. So, what's the deal with Sugitani? Well, I think I've talked about it before. Sugitani shot Nobu, missed, and then needed to hide, right? Sugitani historically, and in Fate as well, was initially male. And so, sought the assistance of a certain Kashin Koji, being like, I need you to hide me. I'm on the run. I shot Nobunaga. And Koji was just like, I got you. And so fucking gender changed them.
According to the Type Moon Wiki, gender varies depending on her Ranmanium growth cycle.
What does that even mean?
Best way to hide a dude gender band high.
What is a No, I'm not accepting that. At the current growth cycle of Ranmaru, of whatever fucking pupa that she is female. Maybe Ranmaru can become a male in the future, but as of right now...
He pulled the Merlin.
Well, Koji did more than pull the damn Merlin. Merlin created a penis for fucking Altria. Koji changed their gender completely. And so effectively that when they were so then after that, Sugitani's like, alright, whatever, this works. I'll find you after this, and then you're going to make me a male again. And Koji just like, sure. But that didn't happen because, went to a monastery, took up the job of a monk, and then someone identified, even through being a female, was just like, hey,
Oh damn, Koji feminized him.
Yes. And then was just like, all right, well, that's the guy who shot Nobunaga. Is like, no, I'm a girl. It's like, all right, that's the girl who shot Nobunaga. And then they buried Sugitani in the ground and slowly chopped off her head with a bamboo saw. Pretty big leap, but you know. I'm going to give this a B as well. And my B as well. And my reasoning for that is because we know what their gender is at the moment. It's female, but it's unwillingly female. It's a 100% male mind
Give her
in
a
the
C
body
and
of a
put her
female.
next to Nobunaga.
So I think that B is fair. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Last one, chat. It was kind of willing. I don't know, because so much of what we know about Sugitani in FGO is that Sugitani wants to become a man again. Which they'll explore that more in events in the future. But from what I can tell, Sugitani does not like being a female and wants to be a man again. And so, you know, I think B is fair. I think that whole desire to go back is a big factor into that.
Can't help but notice the only S's are the unknowables.
Yes. That's why they're S tier. And it's also why our next contender is also S tier. I should almost put Koji in S as well. But I don't think I will. I'll explain why here in a sec. Okay, so Hogan. My dear beloved Tengu. Hogan doesn't really have a set form. Hogan changes. Hogan is a shapeshifter, first and foremost, right? We know that Hogan can appear as the actual Daitengu that you see in art. Hogan can theoretically shapeshift into whatever Hogan wants to be. And so Hogan is whatever gender Hogan wants to be, essentially. Now, they're using the form here as a female because I guess that sells more copies would be my best guess. But, you know, in theory, Hogan can be whatever Hogan wants to be.
Oh man, Sugitani is giving off Ranmaru RPG vibes.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. I don't know. No, I think that's fine, because even if they are more feminine appearing like this, I think that the fact that at any point in time they could just become the Daitengu, I think that means that they should be in S. And why I think that, okay, in theory, Koji could do the same, right? Because Koji could become whatever Koji wants to be, but I think the difference is that Koji likes the way that Koji is right now, and so I don't think Koji is wanting to change. And if they do, maybe we'll see something with that in the future. Honestly, a summer Koji would be really fun. Summer Koji, summer Sugitani. That would be a fun pairing. Do I think Koji could star as a catalyst for a Guda Guda event? Oh, absolutely. Well, it's because Koji historically is very tied to Nobunaga. Like, if you don't know what the story of Koji is, I'm going to keep it very brief because I did do a whole video on it that you can go check out after this. Functionally, Koji was like kind of in the employ of Nobunaga, but kind of not. They were like a freelance mage who just did whatever they wanted. And at one point, gaslit Nobunaga into buying a painting, and then all of the people in the painting left, and so it was just barren, which is really funny. And then when they tried to arrest Koji, they're like, alright, Koji got taken, and then just escaped by turning into like a fucking mouse or something and crawling out, and then turning into a bird and leaving because it's Koji. I'm gonna bump Koji up. I think Koji can go into A. I think Koji can go into A, yeah. I'm convincing myself to move Koji up. And then the way how Koji quote-unquote died, or rather escaped the historical record, is that they were having a drinking party with, I believe, Akechi Mitsuhide. And then was just like, alright, I'm gonna head out, and walked into like a folding, like, a paneled, like, what are they called? Like a folding screen that had like an ocean on it, walked into that, got on a boat and sailed into it and was never seen again. What happened to Koji after that? Built a robot spider body and moved their soul into it because why would I would do that. Yeah. Pretty weird shit, but fun. Alright, fellas. I think this is our list. Now, as of right now, these are not arranged in any specific order aside from the S through D classification, and I don't think I'm going to change that up anyway. I think that's fine. Alright, any major alterations that we need to make, chat? I think this is fair. I think that this is pretty well thought out. The only one that I would kind of maybe move is Douman down to fucking D. I think we've got it. I think that we've got it. Hey, welcome back. How about Roma to D? The reason why I put Roma into C is because their character profile refers to him as non-gendered. But I'm pretty sure... I'm like 95% sure that everyone just calls... Where is Nemo? Nemo is not gender unknown. The Nemo series has varying genders, but Nemo himself is male. In that situation, it's just the primary terminal, if you will. It ranks that as its own gender. Each of the Nemo series is not its own individual servant, as opposed to Castor and Pollux or Okita and Rengoku being their own individual, like, spirit. Well, that's actually weird, because Rengoku isn't a servant. I guess they manifest together like that, so they kind of count as the same, and the Nemo series is more like familiars. Like, you wouldn't count, Jill DeRay's little squid buddies as servants, I guess. What is the gender of the Marines? Do they vary, or are they all female? Okay. I actually kind of have an answer for that. The Marines, The Marines themselves are male. I believe Professor is female. Nurse is female. Baker is female. And then Engineer, I believe, is female as well. That one I've seen varying results on whether Engineer is male or female. But I think that reveal of them possibly being male is just because they have a lot of respect for like other people, which is weird. The rats are all female. Is the Nemo series the Skull Servants of FGO? Yes. Next question. Alright, hold on. I'm pulling up the fucking Tight Moon wiki. Gender female.
So according to the wiki, Nemo was originally gender unknown because he was both Triton and a prince, but when he decided to be Captain Nemo, it became male.
Alright, well there you go. Wait, hold on. Back it up. Why would being two males make you gender unknown? Because Triton is a male, and Prince Dakar from the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and The Secret Island? No, that's wrong. Whatever. Can Triton change his form because he's a god? I don't know. It's a double negative situation. Two males equals a female. Mysterious Island, thank you. Male squared is clearly incomprehensible? I guess so, man. Yeah, that logic is interesting. It's because they're gods? I don't think that being a god inherently means that you can shapeshift. A lot of gods can, because you have to fit a narrative, but I don't know if that necessarily comes with the territory. I could be wrong. Maybe Fate Triton is genderless? Maybe. Were they a machine god? Well, that doesn't count either, because the machine gods were also gendered. But can Nemo... I'm not reading that. I think this is good. I think that this is good. I think we don't need any major revisions. Cut it, print it, upload it to YouTube. Speaking of, hey fellas, how's it going? Come check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/KlidgeRadio. We stream often, so maybe I'm here. Let me know what you think. Who do you think are the best gender unknown servants in the game? By the way, I did happen to find the origin of this video, and I just want you to know this is meant to be a reminder to everyone at any given time. If you ever think that you're safe, ever, I just want you to remember that I'm out there. Ever. Ever and always. Let me pull this up. If you ever think that you can talk shit, remember, I'm always watching.